Hey, it's Mike Fanone here. I want to talk to you about the Trump administration's big, beautiful bill, specifically as it pertains to the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees ICE and CBP. But before we get to that, I want to give you some insight into my lived experience as an inner city cop. Now, many of you may know I spent 2 decades as a police officer in Washington, D.C. During that time, I participated in literally thousands of arrests. I arrested murderers, robbers, rapists, drug traffickers, and sex offenders. And you know how many of those were in this country illegally? Not one. That's right. In the 2 decades I was a cop in a major metropolitan city like Washington, D.C., not one single criminal that I encountered was in this country illegally. So when I hear someone like Donald Trump say, I want more ICE, more force, more toughness, I don't just hear policy, I hear warning bells. Because I've seen where that path goes, and I've seen who gets hurt first. Trump's been running around the country talking about his big, beautiful bill. And at first, I thought it was just more Trump word salad, some MAGA Mad Libs. But then I got to read the fine print, and I got pissed. I read what's buried in this bill, and it should scare the hell out of anyone who gives a damn. Anyone who gives a damn about law, order, or liberty. You know, I've seen what unchecked authority looks like. When I was an undercover officer working narcotics, we didn't just bust dealers. Sometimes we broke trust. Not because we were bad guys, but because the system rewards results, not responsibility. And sometimes worse. Look, I'm not anti-border. I'm not pro-chaos. I want safe neighborhoods like anyone else. But I also want the truth. And here's the truth. ICE, as it's currently structured, is one of the most unaccountable agencies in American law enforcement. Doors kicked in without warrants, people picked up at courthouses, families torn apart in the middle of the night. If you think I'm exaggerating, go look up how many times ICE officers have been disciplined for misconduct in the last 10 years. You won't be overwhelmed by the number. So what's in this big, beautiful bill? I'll tell you, 10,000. That's right, 10,000 new ICE deportation officers, 5,000 new Border Patrol agents, and a plan to carry out 1 million deportations per year. More surveillance, more raids, less oversight. Trump wants to triple ICE's size and hand them the keys to patrol any neighborhood they choose. No new rules, no extra checks and balances, just more boots, more badges, more broken lives. David J. Byer, director of immigration studies at Cato Institute, said, and I quote, "It's going to be unrecognizable in American history, the level of immigration enforcement, street harassment that you will see by Border Patrol and ICE, and all the law enforcement they have helping them out." And he didn't stop there. He said, the average American probably hasn't seen an ICE raid in action, but they will if this bill passes. It's going to be everywhere. That's not immigration policy. That's collective punishment. And let me be crystal clear. This isn't about catching violent criminals. It's about theater. It's about fear. It's about control. Well, we don't need fear. We need accountability. We need cops who serve communities, not politicians. I've been on the receiving end of mob violence. I know what it feels like to be failed by leadership that puts ego before ethics. And I'm telling you, if this bill passes, what happened on January 6th won't be a one-off. This is the blueprint. Trump wants a wall of uniforms, and he wants to call it freedom. Well, that's not freedom. That's fear. If you care about democracy, about decency, speak up, show up, and don't let this bill pass in silence.